All right, guys, welcome to Wednesdays number 2, and this week's topic is going to be fight. So for the next 3 lives, we're going to break it down. We're going to break down fight, move, flow into the 3 topics of the retreat. This one will be fight, the next one will be move, and the last of the 3 will be flow. And we're just going to break down each section of the retreat. So welcome, guys. Comment below when you join, and John will be joining us in just a second, and we'll be talking about fight. So stay tuned, and we'll get started in just a second. We're gonna go for 30 minutes today, or less, so we'll see. We're not gonna go over today. I know you can talk about this stuff forever. We're both super excited and passionate about this, and so we'll keep it to 30 minutes today. We know we all got busy lives, we all got stuff to do, so we'll keep it interesting and to the point. All right, so hang tight and we'll get started in just a sec. Welcome. We'll get started in just a sec, guys. Hang tight. Just waiting on John to join us from Colombia. All right. There he is. Let's see. Welcome. Request. All right, here he is. All right, John, are you coming in clear? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Not too much. It looks like the connection isn't super strong at the moment. I know it was a minute ago when we tested it, but can you hear me loud and clear? Not quite. So on a loading screen.
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Hopefully
Right.
that's good
It
to
seems
go.
like a little bit of a lag.
Huh.
Is there a slightly better spot you have?
Where I'm at right now is right next to the internet. So here's an idea. If I cut out, you're great at monologues. I know you're great at them. So you just you can do monologues if I cut out. And offering some coca leaves to you and our viewers here. May they serve you well.
Yes, that indigenous Colombian medicine.
Ancestral medicine. We've got a dog here. We've got the beautiful Reserva Natural Safra in the background here, the ground zero of our fight, move, flow in November.
Beautiful background. I'm trying to replicate that at home. I set up this tapestry on my patio. I'm trying to bring the Colombian River to me. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's it's funny. I had this before I went to Colombia,
And now when I come home to see it, it reminds me exactly of the river in Colombia.
Ah, it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Does this
Yes,
remind
guys.
you of anything?
So, oh yes, the many, many medicines we took with the shaman.
From Ambil here. This is
Tobacco.
this is reserved for the people who come down here, but I'm offering it to all of our viewers and you.
I just became a member of Four Visions Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And they offer hape, the tobacco from the
Yeah.
Amazonian jungle.
Yeah.
And I became a member there, and I'll be getting that in the mail soon. I got my caripe,
Mm-hmm.
the pipe for self-administration. So I'm looking forward to that because I know that medicine was very potent and grounding.
So we'll
I enjoyed that one.
Fight, combatives, self-defense. Yeah.
Yes, guys. So as I said in the beginning, we're gonna focus this live on fight, and we're gonna go right to 12:30. We know you guys got things to do, so we won't go over today. Like I said, I know we love to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Talk all day about this, but today we're just gonna focus on the fight aspect of Fight Move Flow Retreat. We're hosting in San Rafael, Colombia, November 10th to 15th. We'll have links in our bios for more info. But today, let's talk about fight, what that entails, what we're going to be doing, and what you can expect from this part of the retreat.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm here to ask. So Nate, fight, move, flow, fight, combative / self-defense, in a move nat / Gracie Jiu-Jitsu lens, perspective, point of view. Then move, overarching natural movement, philosophy and practice. And then flow, natural movement, developmental movement, ground movement, combined with animal flow. Very complementary practices there. So that's the kind of overarching idea of there you go. That's the overarching idea of this event. And yeah, I'd like to know a bit more from your side about the fight side of this event. You know, what we can share here with our listeners. So wherever you'd like to start, maybe an introduction about the focus, about the approach, what we'll be doing, and I'll be asking you from there.
Yes, so a little bit about me. I'll be doing most of the fight stuff. John will be also doing some as well because he has a background in this as well, of course, as you'll see and you'll hear. But yeah, so for my experience, it really started out with high school wrestling was the real fire lit under my ass. I went from high school wrestling to MMA and boxing. I tried all these different things. I tried capoeira just for fun, and then I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that was like the real thing for me. That was like, man, the system for the smaller person, right? A lot of people, I feel like, will be hesitant to want to join a retreat that has fighting, right? A lot of people are hesitant to the word fight or to the action of fighting. But what most people don't understand and what we talk about in Jiu-Jitsu and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in particular is this art is for the smaller, weaker opponent, right? It is called the gentle art. That's another name for it because it has the ability to scale, right? It has the ability to scale the amount of violence you need to be able to stay safe and defend yourself or others, which is a great thing because if you train just striking arts, right? If you rely on punches and kicks to defend yourself, that's a very violent thing, right? There's no way to softly strike someone, right? If you're striking someone, the whole point of a striking art is to either knock someone out, to draw blood, you know what I mean? It's a very violent thing versus jiu-jitsu and grappling. You don't rely on strikes. We can
You have
teach you
more
how to
options.
use strikes. You have more options, right? And we can teach you how to use strikes to get to a certain outcome, but they're not necessary, right? You can just control someone through your body positioning and using leverage. The shirt I'm wearing now, alavanca, is uh, Portuguese, or Brazilian Portuguese for leverage, and that's the whole basis of jujitsu, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which we'll be teaching, is leverage, right? How to use the minimum amount of effort to gain the maximum amount of result, right? The whole art was based on the smaller, weaker opponent defeating the larger opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great visual. So this is us, right? This is most people, right? And this is a bigger, stronger, more athletic opponent, right? The problem is when most people get in fights, they both use a lot of energy and they both dwindle at the same rate until eventually the smaller person runs out first, and that's how the bigger person wins, right? Very simple, how most fights happen. The secret with jiu-jitsu is we use techniques so that the bigger person burns and we chill, right? And they burn their energy until we can either submit them with a joint lock, a choke, or just control them and get up and get out. Safety, right? So this is the idea of leverage, right? Conserving our energy, using minimum effort, minimum force to allow the other person to wear themselves out, right? And this doesn't require strikes. This doesn't require blood. This doesn't require any really violent things,
Yeah.
So that's a big clear there, right? That's a big way to clear that whole thing of thinking that fighting is violent, right? It doesn't have to be.
Right.
So that's number one. Another thing is that people will come and say, well, I'm a lover, not a fighter, right? That's what a lot of people say. It's a great idea, right, to say you're a lover, not a fighter, but here's the reality. If you're not a fighter, if you don't know anything, you're going to resort to the most primal and instinctual thing. You're either going to you're going to fight or flight, right? So you're going to run, hopefully get away, but it's not going to happen. And then something bad doesn't happen to you because you don't know how to defend yourself, right? The other option is you just resort to strikes because it's the most primal thing. You don't have to be a good striker to know how to throw your arms and your hands and feet and elbows and legs to hit someone to do damage, right? So if you don't have techniques to be an efficient fighter and not use strikes, then you're going to resort to being violent, right? When that situation comes, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great idea to think you're a lover, not a fighter, but until you know techniques like jiu-jitsu that we'll teach you at this retreat, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Combatives, then you're going to resort to something violent, instinctual, or not be able to defend yourself.
Just completely freeze up.
And so freeze up, exactly. So that's that. And the other thing is, so that's basically it. It's like you can, the most loving thing you can do is control someone and let them calm down. You can just get, for example, we'll teach a lot of controls, how to pin someone down without using strength, right? And just control until the situation de-escalates, right?
Right.
And then you can get up and get the safety from there, right?
Right.
So that's another big component of it.
I'd like to make a quick note. Please bear with me on the signal here. Sometimes it comes in and out, so please bear with me if it goes out, and just feel free again to go into a monologue if it starts to go out for a while. But what you mentioned there about this, some people say that I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, this kind of thing, and absolutely, I resonate. That resonates with me a lot. And I'd also say, from the point of view of somebody who said that at a certain point in his life, and still might say that, I actually see it as one of the most ethical things that somebody can do is learning how to defend themselves and their loved ones
Mm-hmm.
in the most conscious way
Mm-hmm.
possible in the event that
Mm-hmm.
something does escalate to the point where physicality is required, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
as was mentioned before, if somebody is attacking us and let's say we have this kind of what we consider to be like an elevated ethical, conscious point of view of the world and life and reality, that doesn't mean that nobody's ever going to try to do something to us, right?
Right.
Sometimes after we have maybe some spiritual experiences, we have this experience of the oneness of reality, how we're all connected and all this interdependence. And then we say, well, it's all just, it's just one thing, and I affect everything and everything affects me. And that's completely correct. And
So it's breaking up a little bit, John, but what I'm hearing is you're saying um, if someone has a spiritual experience and experience the oneness and feel that everything is one with them, right? Sorry about this, guys. It's breaking up
right?
quite a bit.
So that's just a simple example that you can then extrapolate out. If somebody forces us to drink gasoline or forces us to huff on a exhaust pipe, we're going to die, right? Our physical body is going to die, and then we won't be able to do as much of the good things that we want to do in the world, right? And so there are people who, for example, talking from an environmental point of view, people who spill gasoline, spill oil into the environment and harm it and harm the people who live there, the people who drink that water. And we're all driving cars. Most of us are using cars in one way or another day to day. And that's putting gases into the atmosphere that we're breathing, right? And so most people who are into this, I'm a lover, not a fighter point of view, are very aware of this, right? So that same kind of, let's
All right, guys. Um, Hey, John.
it does happen.
It's breaking
It's
up
a part
pretty
of
bad,
human
so we're not
existence.
getting everything you're saying. Um, so we might have to redo this, reschedule this.
It's a part of human existence, right? It's still a fundamental part of human existence. So the question then is, better
Hey,
to
John.
be more or less prepared for when that thing that's part of human existence happens. So, yeah.
All right, so a lot of that cut out, but I get the underlying point you're trying to make there is I feel like the underlying point is you don't want to be naive, right? There's a good saying we say in jiu-jitsu is sometimes you don't pick the fight chooses you, right? You could be the best person in the world, but if you're just out doing your thing, sometimes the fight just comes to you and you need to be prepared for that. And so we're going to prepare you for that at this retreat with Gracie Combatives Techniques, which is, as we talked about before, the 36 core curriculum, the fastest way to street readiness. This is what the Army Combatives use. This is what John used when he was in the Army. This is what the Army uses for their program. It's the fastest way to get someone to street readiness, as we say.
Yeah.
36 techniques that you need for self-defense. And then we're going to get into other things like MoveNet Combatives, which is heavy on the principles. And so, how to de-escalate, how to detect, how to de-escalate and diffuse and avoid the fight, right? Jiu-jitsu, we say, avoid the fight at all costs. That's the number one way to win a fight. You win 100% of the fights you don't get in, right? So how to do that, we'll go really deep into that, how to make sure you avoid any fight at all costs. And then, of course, if the fight happens, if you have no choice, but you need to defend yourself physically, hand to hand, one person, this is the most effective way to do it through the Gracie combatives techniques we'll be showing you. We just got a couple minutes left here, and I know John is kind of breaking up, so I'm just going to do most of the talking here. And if you have a quick bit of good signal and you want to throw a question in there, feel free. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be learning how to detect, right, the anomaly, right? How to avoid it, right? You know, just get out of there as quick as possible. Don't even be a part of it. If you start getting into it, how to diffuse it, how to bring it down, de-escalate it. And if that doesn't work, how to defend yourself, right? So that's what we're going to be going over. And I'm super excited about this. And I don't want people to feel, what's the word? I don't want people to feel intimidated by this, to feel intimidated by the word fight, right? It seems, like we said in the beginning, to be a very violent thing, but there's a great quote: it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war, right? It's better to have these skills and not need it than need it and not have it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be giving you the mental skills, the mental preparation, the physical skills, just the most effective things that we found and that the world agrees upon. We see it all the time when people come and try some Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, some Gracie combatives. It's something you kind of have to experience to feel, right? To feel, you know, I remember the first time I started grappling and rolling with people 100 pounds heavier than me, you know, 6 inches taller than me, you know, this massive size differences, and being able to use my technique to defeat the bigger, stronger, more athletic opponent. It's just that feeling is so powerful. It's very empowering. And so I'm excited to share that with you at Fight Move Flow with Recon John. Sorry his connection wasn't all there today. He is in the jungles of Colombia, so we gotta bear with him. You know, there's a trade-off, right? When you live in beautiful places like that, when you're surrounded by beautiful nature, you know, the Wi-Fi isn't always there. It's one of those places where there's no Wi-Fi, but you're guaranteed to find a better connection. So I'm looking forward to joining you guys in San Rafael, Colombia. John's back. And so, yeah, I'm just giving my monologue. John, feel free to pop in one more question.
I'll just keep listening to your monologue.
2 left, and then we'll wrap this up. And we just got to go with the flow sometimes, you know, guys. Sometimes, you know, technology doesn't always work, but like I was saying, it's a trade-off. Who wouldn't want to live in a beautiful jungle like that in Reserva Zafra, natural?
Yeah.
So that's about it, guys. So again, I don't want you to be intimidated. If you're nervous, if you feel like you're a lover, not a fighter, this is exactly for you. We're going to be teaching you the most loving way to protect yourself, your family, your loved ones. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you feel like you're going to be too advanced for these beginner intro to how to defend yourself, believe me, we're going to have things that if you're already, you know, purple belt, brown belt, black belt in jiu-jitsu, no worries. I'll help you any way I can. We can for sure spar. If you have experience rolling, if we have free time during the retreat, I'd be happy to roll with you, have some fun. And, you know, beyond the Gracie Combatives beginner curriculum, we can, you know, exchange ideas and go over more advanced techniques. I'd be happy to show you. I'm sure there's always something to learn. So I'm happy to share all my knowledge with you. If you're a more advanced student, take your game to the next level. And like we said in the previous live, even if you're, you know, purple, brown, black belt in regular BJJ, there's something to that beginner program, the Gracie Combatives beginner program, that if you didn't learn these techniques, these principles, we see it all the time at Gracie schools that, you know, black belts are blown away learning the beginner curriculum, that they never learned, these details they never learned. And a lot of it is to do with punch, block, safety, not getting struck while you're on the ground. Because if you don't train punches, you're not going to be ready for that. Just training sport BJJ. So if you're the beginner student, this is the best place to start. If you're the advanced student, we'll find something for you to expand your practice. And yeah, we'll just have some fun. I'm happy to roll with anyone there too if we have the time in the beautiful Columbia jungle and swap ideas and grow, you know?
Yeah.
All right, John, thank you for joining me for the bit that we could tune in and listen and sharing your words.
Brother, thank you.
And we're going to wrap this. Yes, sir. So we're going to wrap this one up, guys, and we're going to be back here in 2 weeks to talk about Move. It's going to be the Move Natural Movement, which John and I are both team instructors for. We've been in this for a while, and we're excited to share this natural movement practice that really has the ability to improve any practice, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's animal flow, no matter what you already do. To add MoveNat to your movement practice is going to skyrocket your progress. Yes. I've seen it. I've felt it. I've had all my clients experience it as well. So super excited to sharing that with you guys as well.
Yeah, and that's another quick note for the more advanced jiu-jitsu practitioners who might be thinking, oh man, these guys are talking about some stuff that, like, for me, I already got over that or never even cared about that. You know, either way, a long time ago I got over it, or I don't care, right? That's fine. We have lots of other things to offer at this retreat, so there will be plenty of challenges and opportunities for growth for all who come. Everybody from the mother of three to the black belt in BJJ. Seriously, for the black belt in BJJ, there's going to be plenty for you. One, with what Nate's going to do, but, specifically for the combatives, but also two, there's going to be some really amazing stuff going on out there on the river. So, yeah, I think everybody's going to get a lot out of this. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, thank you for joining, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for Move. And we'll be sure to get the connection going solid so we can both talk clear and you hear us both throughout the whole time.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, guys, see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, see you.